All right, welcome back, fellow TFFL owners, to another TFFL webcast. It's Wednesday, October 26th. Going to head to Week 8 action. We're past the midway point in our 2016 season, our 20th anniversary season. Lots of tight division races all across the league. Things are starting to get exciting. We're not quite heading down the stretch yet, but we're getting there. First, let me welcome, as always, our normal panel tonight, but it's a hot panel all around. We got Chief, the team with the worst record among us right now, but coming in on a 3-game winning streak, looking really good.
Yeah, we're past the halfway point in regular season. Job's only half done.
Yep, 3-4 now, but 3 straight. Berto, Jack's Giant Killers, 4-3.
Hey, Stick.
How are you?
I have my own graphic tonight in the spirit of our political. I don't know if that's readable or not. Let's make the AMPAC great again.
Nice.
And the NOCO East stronger together, Phil. Let's try and get along.
See, Berto, you know how much I love you and how much I want to get along with you, but there is no way that I can endorse that platform. I want the AMPAC to be as awful as possible for as long as possible. I'm worried that they've got 2 stud building blocks, but screw the AMPAC. I hope they suck for years.
1-19.
I feel pretty confident Ralph is not seeing that. So
Right.
He doesn't watch the webcast. We're fine. Love you, Ralph.
And Hank, welcome, 5-2 K-Wheels.
Thank you. Sorry to open up
So we
full
got-
of such piss and vinegar. I don't mean to.
We got the 6-1
I
Alien,
figured that would fire you up.
Yeah.
6-1 Aliens, 5-2 K-Wheels, 4-3 Giant Killers. Sponge again, 3-4, but on a 3-game winning streak. So I think all of us should be feeling pretty good tonight.
Obviously, it's our webcast participation that leads to TFFL on-field success.
Michael Giovenco floated that theory already that he's been sparked by his webcast appearances. But yeah, as Chief said, we still got 6 more games to go. Got the second half of the regular season now. Before we get into things, let's kick it off as usual with TFFL trivia. Berto requested a multi-part question so he could try to get back in our competition here. So this is a bit of a holdover question. We did not do a webcast last week. Last week would have been the opportune time to ask this, but I don't want to lose track of it. The Bro Bowl. Speaking of Ralph, the Giovencos, the Hormel Hams, the AMPAC just played the 2016 edition of the Bro Bowl. So I'm talking about regular season only here because that's really the Bro Bowl. We've had 20 seasons now in the modern era. I'm going to give you 1 point for telling me which of the 2 franchises has the lifetime edge in that series. I'll give you a second point if you can answer the following multiple choice question correctly. How many times have the Amsterdam Packers and the Hormel Hams met in the playoffs? Is it 0? Is it once or twice? Is it 3 to 5? Or is it more than 5 out of 20 modern era seasons? I wonder if Michael Giovenco, our expert trivia question supplier, can answer a question like that. All right. So, Hank, before we get into the round table, why don't you just tee us up real quick with some commentary on our standings after 7 weeks of action.
All right, I would be glad to. So I didn't just run down the standings. I got a couple of things. I'll try and run through this in not too lingering order. But here we are. I kind of broke us up into some, relative tiers. And so look, Stick, I'm going to give it to you. The Aliens are looking strong. They're 6-1, leading the North. The Double Stars is division leading. I mean, you're looking great right now, and kudos to you. So beyond Stick, we got some teams are looking strong, but there's some question marks and some things to work on, and that includes myself and the Lizards and the Fats. And I'm largely dinging the Lizards and the Fats because they're in the Aliens division and they're in trouble there. And then I got the Hams in there as well, who are really playing well and have a little bit stronger record. you need to be a bit stronger, and I feel a little bit bad for the Sponge kind of being in there because they're playing really well right now, but still have 4 losses to start. Killers have been wobbling, and I love to see this. This is great news for all of us. So let's hope that trend continues. And then not looking good. Devils are they beat me, but they're weak, and the Senators are not any better. Mongols and the AMPAC, well, I don't know what they're doing. So we're starting to see some separation a little bit, but these 3 teams here down here are going to need to get a little bit hotter, and these teams up here need to get a little bit better. And Aliens, keep doing what you're doing. Now, really quickly, and I won't linger, I just wanted to show these stats because I thought they were fun. In terms of North versus South, the bottom 5 free agent order, so meaning the teams that are the best are all Northern teams. Cumulative record, North versus South, or of all the teams in the North versus the South right now. Those are the cumulative records. And then we got head-to-head. So as you can see, we're seeing some fairly significant conference separation right now, and it's going to get interesting starting next week, I believe, when it's all cross-conference games for a few weeks. Comments? All
right. Well, it's a nice segue to our first topic on the roundtable, which is the league out of balance that we've got right now. Some more stats your way. You guys pick up whatever you want to talk about here. Yeah, in the NOCO, 5 of the 6 teams have winning records. All 4 of our leagues, 5-2 teams or better, reside in the NOCO. In the Southern Conference, 5 of the 6 teams have losing records. And I would point out on your standings there, Hank, that the Devils and the Mongols in your not looking strong category or whatever, they're a game out of first place or tied for first place in the case of the Devils, really. 2 and 5, the Senators are 2 games out, but they're not out of it. So how does this happen where we get this kind of conference imbalance? What is it going to mean for the playoff race this year? A couple other ways to look at this real quick. You could talk about our division, the NOCO West. 3 teams, 5 and 2 or better. As I pointed out, the Aliens are a game out of last place, basically. We're 16 and 5 combined. We're the final 3 in the free agency order, 3 of the top 4 teams in the rolling average. We would all make the playoffs if the season ended today. How's this division going to shake out? And then lastly, I would say let's look at the SoCo East. No teams above 500. Devils and Beavers tied at 3 and 4. Are we going to have a division winner with a losing record this year? Take your pick.
So I'll touch them all fairly briefly. Sorry, I'm not sure if this is that unusual that we have the conference, the balance of power. It would be interesting to go back and look. I suspect it's not as rare as we think it is. I know, running the numbers for rolling average report every week, there's been several weeks where it seems it's, 5 out of 6 up top and 1 out of 6 down bottom, and it'll flip back and forth. I don't think it's a trend other than right now the North is better. They have the one anchor in their conference, whereas as Phil's graphic showed, the Devils, the Mongols, they're not good. The Senators are not good. I think I'm better than that, but my record says I'm not good either. The NOCO West, tough division. I tend to think out of the 3, it's hard to get the entire division in the playoffs. You're still gonna have the round robin at the end of the season.
Yep.
There's catastrophic injuries to be had. There's some struggles there. I think if I had to pick one to fall out, would probably the Boba Fetts. I think they're probably the most inflated right now over the true talent level of their team. I think the Aliens and Lizards are actually very good teams right now. I would be shocked if they don't both make the playoffs. SoCo East, again, it's one of these things. Once in a while, we have bad divisions. I think 5 years ago or so, was it the NOCO West that was really, really down? Where we had
the losing record. Yep.
Yeah. So we have a case where where Nick's just really not engaged as much as he says he is. I question that. Bill has you look at on paper, Bill's got a good team, but it's not playing up to their ability this year. They didn't last year either. Aaron Rodgers, future Hall of Famers, been missing. Aaron Rodgers, above average NFL quarterback, has taken his place. And the Mongols are the Mongols. I gave up trying to explain the Mongols. The fact that they come up in trivia so often probably says all we need to know about the Mongols. So I guess to sum it up. Oh, and yes, I do predict that will be a team with a losing record winning that division. And I say it'll probably be the Beavers, but it wouldn't shock me anyway that shakes out. So not that unusual, although it is interesting. But with Pats out of the playoffs, Beavers in the playoffs.
Here's the thing real quick with the Beavers is they do play the Aliens this week, and I don't mean to jinx myself at all, but on paper, the 6-1 Aliens would probably be the favorite. I think the website has us as a favorite. So yeah, the Beavers are winning that division at 3-4 right now, but they got some tough games coming up against some more Northern Conference teams. I think it may be tough for somebody in that division to be above 5.
But they also have the Senators, the Devils, and the Mongols to go too. So maybe the Impact. Yeah, I don't know how they've played yet.
Could this be the year that an 8-5 team gets somehow locked out of the playoffs? Is that possible?
It's possible.
I don't think it's ever happened, right?
No.
This could be the year.
Well, we'll see. I mean, like we said, there's a lot of cross division games to come, and there'll be some settling there. As the Fats have to play me and you and the Lizards, and have to play everybody again in the conference, and we all do. So let's see. We still got a long way to go, but right now it's very interesting as we're going here. Same in the South. There's going to be 2 teams that come out of the playoffs at least, and never know. Maybe they get hot and there's a wild card race to be had, but it could easily be 4-2, and the 5th team in the North, if they're 8-5, could be left out.
Yep.
That's hard to see happening. I think you're okay with 8-5 to get in the playoffs.
Probably so.
Generally.
I think Chief hit on something too. The injuries being the great equalizer, and I think this is when, those waiver picks, who you picked up, are they helping you? The strength of your draft. Did you draft some guys that you can actually, plug and play, or do you not have those guys? And who's going to make the first big trade other than the Matt Ryan trade? What else is coming down the pipe? And I've already pestered Ralph, and Ralph basically said he wanted nothing. He wanted nothing to do with football for a little while, which I can understand.
What is he going to trade on his roster? He's not going to give up.
We didn't get to that point, but just poking around. So anyway, things are going to change, right? So it's what teams are going to get hot and what teams are going to have that big injury and lose a couple games due to that.
I challenge you to find anything beyond Melvin Gordon and Ezekiel Elliott that you value on the Ampax as a trade target.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's true too. Maybe there's not a game changer there, but there's somebody that maybe could help.
Hey, lightning round. Hank and I were talking about running backs you'd be willing to give up a first-round pick for. And I think we agreed on 14 of them league-wide, the vast majority of whom won't be available in trade. Garrett Blount make that list for you guys?
Who we trade a first-rounder for?
Yeah.
Yes.
If I had it's no brainer, especially if I was picking the second half of the round or expected to pick in the second half of the round. Yeah, I would trade that.
Yeah, I think so. How old is he? How old is he again?
He's probably 29 now.
That's right.
Pretty old.
He's Hank, you said no earlier today. That's why I brought that up.
I said I didn't think so. He was the borderline case. I think he's right there. I mean, if you're a team that, again, as we get a week or two down and you lose a game in the North, maybe you do make that trade.
Yeah, I'd say yes.
I'm not trading him, but it was just interesting as we talked about how many running backs league wide at this point even merited that kind of a package.
I think we came up with what, like 20 that were like considerations.
Yeah, we didn't agree on that many. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, Berto, you wanted to talk about a particular player today. I'm gonna cede the floor to you.
No, this is just a little Arian Foster eulogy. I mean, this guy was a stud, and I know Bill is. I sent him a note today about our TFFL Hall of Fame, and he's getting on the job. But I looked something up today, and in terms of top running back seasons for running backs, only LaDainian Tomlinson has had more dominant seasons than Foster had. The 4 dominant seasons that Foster had. This guy had like 18, 17, 13, 16 touchdowns. An absolute stud. But I just wanted to say my piece about Arian Foster and how much he meant to the Killers over the years after being a 3rd overall pick in 2010. And the other part about that, which I said before, is what a drastic mistake it was to keep him this year on top of all that. But it goes to show when you have a guy who I think did so much for your team, you always have a little bit of loyalty there, and you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, I did not want to keep him. I tried every angle to try and not keep him, and at the end of the day, I felt like I had to, and clearly that was a mistake. But so long, Arian.
Berto, I think we got misled a little bit by some of the reports coming out of Miami in the preseason that talked about him being in top form and seizing the job.
Yep, I didn't buy all of it either, I have to admit. But I wasn't fully believing, but I wanted to believe. But yeah, he was just too many injuries over the last couple of years, and it was, my thought process was if I could get 6 or 7 games out of him that were running back 2, running back 3 type of work, then it was, what am I going to do? I got nobody else better to keep, and I really didn't have the ammunition to trade for somebody else. So,
hey, I'll give you kudos. I hated playing against Arian Foster. I never had him on my team. I feel like if we look at how many times he lit up the K-wheels, he did a lot, and I will not miss him. I will not miss seeing him on the Giant Killers roster. He is awesome, and exactly the kind of running back you're hoping you get. So, well said, Berto. Kudos to him, and thank God I never have to play him again.
But I got to make sure I confess here because, Hank, I know how much you hate TFFL franchises that help out the Killers. I don't know if it's been made clear as much as clear as it should be over the years how terrible that trade worked out, where I gave Berto that number 3 overall pick to take Arian Foster, because I remember Arian Foster was an undrafted NFL free agent.
Yep, out of Tennessee.
Yeah, and you saw it in him. I didn't, and I got a decent pat. I got a keeper running back, a good one at the time, Thomas Jones, a pick later in the first round, a pick in the next draft, I think.
Yep.
But Arian Foster turned out to be Arian Foster, and that it was somewhat akin to the way Nick was able to get LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yep. And by the way, in that draft, Des Bryant went right after Arian Foster. That was a good pick at number 4. I was mostly sure I was going to take Arian Foster, but Des Bryant was tempting as well.
Oh, actually, look at that draft now. What was that, 2010?
2010, yeah.
All right. While you're looking at that, Chief, I can start to segue into our next topic. We
of course.
just talked about Arian Foster. It's not me who suggested it. Let's talk about running back Jay Ajayi on the Aliens, on the Dolphins. This is a conversation I think we have every year about 1 or 2 players that in the TFFL draft, for some reason, too many teams passed on what seemed like an obvious early pick. We've talked about this in the context of Sammy Watkins in the past. I'd be happy to look at other players in the 2016 draft we should be talking about. But this is the time to talk about Ajayi, fresh off 200-yard games. And let me just go through this real quick. The Lizards had him. I was projecting him as a keeper all offseason. They let him go. I remember talking to Hank as he was talking to Berkman about quarterbacks and saying that there's no way that the Lizards are going to value another offer from another team that includes a running back, because it really means they're going to have to let go of Ajayi, and that's a tough trade-off. They're not going to get great value in that running back swap. So they're going to want to go to you, Hank, for the number 2 overall pick. And Berkman went with Greg Olson, let Jay Ajayi go. The Fats were in desperate need of running backs at number 3 overall. Didn't take him. It's where we were projecting him in our mock drafts. The Sponge invested in Kenneth Dixon at number 5 overall. That may still work out. The Pillars kept Arian Foster, passed on Ajayi at number 6. Are we making too big a deal of this, or did teams make a big mistake?
I think. I mean, this is hindsight we're talking now. I think every team at the time made the right move. I think, and you touched upon it talking about Foster just now, right? Adam Gase was very clear that he wanted Foster to be his guy. I mean, Richie kept the right guy, keeping, at the time, Duke Johnson over Ajayi. Whether he should find a way to keep them both is a different question. I would say yes, he probably should have. I think that, Fats probably should have taken, just given the nature of their keeper list. Nick took Christine Michael instead of him. I think you can justify that pick. I still like as a I don't want to say project, but going forward, I still like Dixon over Ajayi. Even today, I think he's got more upside. So I think it worked out great for you. I mean, last year I think you talked about David Johnson lasting until number 12 pick. Does everybody wish they had that over? Sure. Virtually every player wishes he took David Johnson last year. Arian Foster went 3rd overall. I don't know if went 1 or 2, but they probably didn't have as good a career as Arian Foster did. So I think this thing happens every year. Do we regret things in hindsight? Sure. If we did it all over again, would it change? I don't know. I'm still not sold on a guy being a stud running back in the NFL.
I'll take the counter argument, at least for me, because I've been beating the drum on owning a backfield, and I punted on Ajayi. I didn't take him. I had Foster. I could have had that backfield. However that shakes out,
and that tells you what the thought with what the word on the street was on Ajayi at the time.
Exactly, and I really didn't believe the Foster thing, but for whatever reason, I really believed all the negative press about Ajayi, and maybe that's because I wanted Foster to be the guy.
Isaiah Peed taking carries over Ajayi. Damian Williams taking carries over Ajayi.
So I'll say this: I don't think anyone screwed anything up except me not taking Ajayi there. I think you can make an argument for everyone else who picked before me. Maybe the Fats. Okay, I'll give that one. But maybe they should have taken Christine Michael, actually. But other than that, I should have taken him because you lock up the Dolphins backfield and then you figure out, from there what's going to happen. But I just saw so much negative press about him, and I had, unrealistically high hopes, I guess, for Foster.
I'm just going to agree that I think Berto totally screwed up. No, I'm kidding. I mean, obviously, we'd love to have Ajayi. We all know it's drafting lottery tickets so much, and it's awesome that what he's done. And who the hell thought he'd run for 2 back-to-back 200-yard games? Nobody. Nice, congrats, Stick. That's awesome that you got him, and it's great that Berto doesn't.
Again, I didn't bring this up. I think it was Berto who suggested we talk about it. I think it's different than David Johnson. I supported bringing it up because Ajayi was a case, at least with me, where we were projecting him as a keeper to the Lizards all offseason.
And I'm not ready to crown this guy, Arian Foster, LaDainian Tomlinson yet. Let's be clear about that. But again, this goes back to the whole thing I was talking about, actually probably every webcast, and lamenting the Alan Hearns pick, that you take a guy who is, a good wide receiver, but I think Michael, again, I'll go back to that. He hit the nail on the head. You can find those guys. It's very tough to get these lottery ticket type guys. I was thrilled to honestly get DeAndre Washington in the second round. Good rookie running back. I think he's got a bright future. We'll see if he's a keeper or not. But again, this is why I think you got to roll the dice more in the first round on these running backs when they have the opportunity. But again, you had Foster there, so again, that was a blocker. But again, it's you got to roll the dice on these guys.
Yeah, see, I guess I saw it as not so much a roll of the dice. I mean, Isaiah Peed was never going to get real carries there. Williams is okay, but he's not going to get 20 carries a game. And we knew Foster was going to get injured.
I shouldn't have brought this topic up because I'm getting more irritated the more I'm talking and thinking about this. So
Keep going.
Let's move on.
You're massively messed up, man. Terrible.
Nice. And I think the Fats. I think the Lizards. Yeah, perhaps should have tried to find a way to keep him and Duke Johnson. I think the Fats. I'm still not quite sure what they did taking Macklin there. We'll get Rob on the webcast, I know, in the next couple of weeks. Let's look at the numbers before Rob comes on and see, is Macklin really adding? I mean, he's got so many receivers there. Right? We'll see what kind of value Macklin's really bringing to that team. Okay, last topic for our roundtable. We so want to talk about trades, and Berto, I think in maybe a week or two, we'll get your annual trade forecast. But the reality is there aren't a lot of teams that are really out of it at this point, for one thing. We've talked about that. The MPAC at 0-7. The Senators might get pissy if I say they're out of it at 2-5. You can't say the Mongols and Devils are out of it. So that's maybe two teams. And frankly, not to be mean, but go look at those rosters. There's not a stud running back there that they're going to be willing to trade. Ralph's not going to give up Zeke Elliott or Melvin Gordon. So, we're not going to have a heck of a lot of trades right now. Maybe as we always do, a couple come down at the deadline. But last year's deadline trades were, Chris Johnson. The old days of getting a stud Corey Dillon. Hank, I remember you trading him away.
Yeah.
And you did it at the right time. He still had a couple good years left. After that, he was a strong running back you could go get. So here's my question: Are there some more creative trades people should be looking at out there instead of the old formula of stud veteran player for a draft pick next year? Should we be looking for more surplus for surplus trades? One team gets a running back they need, the other team gets a receiver they need. Are those trades out there and people just not looking for them? Is that the type of trade that maybe people should be pulling off these days?
We just had one. Berto got the quarterback he needed, and Rob got the defense he needed. Win-win.
Yeah, it was a win-win.
What do you get?
In all seriousness, yeah, we can see those, but it's hard. It's hard to find a good match between two teams that have surplus at one position and surplus at complementary positions. It doesn't line up that way very often.
And plus, when you go for a pack bowl, you're not going to give up any surplus because you need that surplus to start at some point, probably.
Yeah, maybe after all the bye weeks. I don't know. I look around and it's tough to see a lot of trades that I can even propose or that I know people would even be willing to talk about at this point.
I don't think it's that abnormal. I think if we look back, it's really the way our league is set up is not conducive to trades, and unless it's really early or really need based and then you way overpay, it's tough, especially with everybody wanting lottery tickets, so you're not trading the young guys. So I don't know. We'll see.
I think we end up with a good amount of trades throughout the whole year. I think we talked about this a week or two ago. We're all smarter. We're all building better teams. We're all more competitive. And I think the last few years in particular, it's gotten tighter and tighter, and it makes it a tougher environment, or it just makes you have to wait longer, wait things out until that final week before the trading deadline.
Yeah, but even the off-season trades this year, I mean, August 28th or whatever that day was an absolute epic explosion of trades. So
right up to the deadline.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was amazing. Just the email blowing up with deals.
But that's everybody holding their cards to the very end, and you finally got to play them.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We're going to see trades, but it'll probably be like last year, I bet. Yeah.
Jerick McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon will be traded.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be it.
Have him.
Matthews. That's what I think is out there right now.
Yeah. Jerick McKinnon is intriguing.
You should jump on him. Give up your first for Jerick McKinnon.
Okay, Chief, looking ahead to week 8 here, do we have a game of the week we can talk about?
We do, and both people here are on this panel here.
All right.
It's the annual Vince Lombardi Stem Cell Bowl.
That's right, baby.
Yeah, I don't like to anoint myself game of the week material, but we looked at the standings, the Hanks graphic before. This is an important game. It's a 4-3 team in a tough conference. He's chasing Hank. I'm doing well right now at 3-4, not as well as I'd like to be. But that 5th loss is a killer. Once you hit 5 losses, you need some help. I get unusually unlucky. The Guru does not like my chances in this game. I think I'm down by double-digit underdog in there somewhere. And I got some tough matchups. Comes down if McCoy plays. If McCoy plays, I think I can pull us out. If he doesn't play, which of course is preferable than playing but taking himself out after a few plays, then I think the Giant Killers have the upper hand in this one. I don't think either team's really getting hurt by bye weeks. I'm losing Mike Davis as a potential starter, but he's not an ideal start anyhow. So we'll see what happens.
I have Terrence West out. He laid an egg against the Hams. That was unfortunate. And Gillislee, if McCoy isn't going to play, then he becomes an option.
Sure.
The only problem is the guy he would probably go in for would be Hearns, who's playing tomorrow night. So
this is one of those things where I look down the Gurus. He's telling me, not to start Mark Ingram because he's playing against Seattle, and not to start Andrew Luck because he's playing against Kansas City. It's just one of these things where, I can. Well, he is telling me to start Luck because Tannehill's on bye, but it's one of these things where it's kind of useless to me. I expect it to be a good game. I think it'll come down to Sunday night, Monday night, or the last few players we have in our lineups to before we know who's going to win this.
Come on, Sponge. Let's go. Get focused.
Yeah, I know this. I know this panel's 3/4 of them are on my side.
3/4 of this webcast is behind the Sponge.
Other games we have the Aliens visiting the Slippery Beavers. Hormel Hams are at the K-Wheels. Lizards at Mongols. Senators at Impact. And if the Senators lose this game, and if Ralph's paying attention, they very well might. They got to be done, depending on what happens with the Hams and the Sponge. And Boba Fett's are at the Devils. So that is your Week 8 schedule.
One other scheduling note, and to correct myself on the fly during this webcast, I mentioned earlier that the Beavers have a tough schedule ahead, and I think I said it was against the Aliens, obviously, this week, and then some other Northern Conference teams ahead. That is incorrect. It's Southern Conference teams to come for the Beavers, but their next 3 games are Aliens, Sponge, Hams. And the way the Sponge are playing right now, that's 3 really tough games for a division leading 3-4 team right now. Okay, TFFL trivia answer. Again, we have 2 questions. We're talking about the Bro Bowl tonight. We've played 20 regular season Bro Bowls. Which of the 2 franchises has won the most?
I'm the same as Birdo.
Ampac for Birdo, and Chief, who do you have?
Ampac. I'm sorry.
You all get a point. The Ampac have won 11 times. The Hormel Hams have won 9 times.
Okay.
All right. The second question was, how many times have these guys faced off in the playoffs?
We
Over
all answered the same.
once or twice? Yes. The correct answer is only once.
I
Yes.
never remember it.
That's a sweep of the trivia, gentlemen.
Nice work. 2009 was the year that they played in the playoffs. The Hormel Hams won that game. So lifetime, including the playoffs, it's still 11-10 for the Ampac.
Here's to multiple choice questions.
Yes, thank you, Stick.
50-50 ones at that.
Okay, Chief. Any reminders? Any special rants for us?
I covered it
Real quick
in the
before we finish
report.
trivia, in terms of the Chief. Up to the minute stats on trivia points. The Chief is leading everyone with a total of 6 now. I am in second with 4, and the guest is in third with 2, and Birdo has now tied them with 2.
No, I should have 3.
No, you do have 3. Sorry, you have 3. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Thank you.
You know, we stopped inviting guests. You can give them 3rd place.
As of tonight, you are
Good.
now ahead of the guest. I'm sorry. It's 3 for Birdo and 2 for the guest.
Hey, the guests can blame Rob for not being here tonight.
Yeah.
We tried to get a guest on. Rob keeps avoiding us, but
You can't blame Rob because he was ready to go last week and nobody else was.
I know.
Um,
We'll have him on soon.
Terry's day. Terry bailed
We're gonna have Terry next
for
week.
work. Yeah, he was supposed to be tonight. And he had a work-related thing that somehow took priority for him. As far as my announcements, I covered them in the report. I was asked how we were going to treat Ty Montgomery, so I think I laid that out pretty well.
Yep.
And I think more people read the report than watch the webcast. Well, just say, if you have questions, refer back to the commissioner's report. And as much as I hate to say it, for a group of men in their 40s, and we still have at least one owner who hasn't paid their bill from draft weekend. So I hadn't as of yesterday anyway. And again, I'll just repeat what I said in the thing: pay the bill. Yeah, and I get it for a week or two. It's like, okay, next time I'm online and next time I'm paying bills, I'll make sure I include you. But man, 7 weeks. Make it a point. Log in specifically to PayPal to pay that one bill. It'll take you 15 minutes tops.
Your
Huh?
PayPal app from your phone. Come on, guys.
Whatever.
One owner? Just one owner?
At least one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. There might be more than one. I've only heard about one. So I can't imagine there's more, but maybe there is. So yeah, those are the announcements for the week. We have a good game tomorrow night. No, it's a Jacksonville, Tennessee snooze fest. If you want to start any Jaguars, actually, I gotta look at Chris Ivory in that one. I don't think he's in my lineup right now. Don't know McCoy. Sidebar. So if you have any Titans or Jaguars that you want to get in your lineup, go ahead and do so. This is a heavy week on buys, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't know who's affected by them as far as the TFFL goes. I think there's 6 NFL teams on buys this week. So
Next couple weeks are heavy weeks.
So good luck to everybody. Let's see who can manage their roster. Let's see who made the best foresight and contingency plans.
We have another 9:30 a.m. game on Sunday, right?
The Redskins.
An early game. Yeah, I'm not sure the time, but yeah, there's another London game on.
Redskins Bengals.
Who is it?
Redskins, Bengals.
Good. Well, okay, so this is week 8. I typically think of down the stretch as the last 5 weeks of the season. Maybe we'll see a little more separation after this week. We can, again, maybe have a trade forecast. We'll get Bill on soon to do a NFL draft outlook so teams can start to think about what kind of value they might get in the first round next year. And pretty soon, next week, Hank's standings will take on greater meaning. We can start talking about playoff races. It's going to be November next week. It's moving fast, but starting to get really exciting. So good luck to everybody in week 8 action. We'll be back here next week. In the meantime, happy Halloween.
Quick lightning round. It's a yes or no question. Has the aliens' good fortune had anything to do with naming Chris Connor as co-owner last year?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Nothing to do with it whatsoever.
The results speak for themselves.
It's hard to deny Chris Connor's impact in making that the team to beat.
We talked a little bit about this before we went on air, but I think you were out of the room, Chief. I don't know if you heard me say it's really hard for me to put into words just how valuable Connor's contributions to the aliens are.
There really are no words. There are no words to describe his contribution.
Yeah, we didn't get into the aliens enough tonight. We may have to say that to next week and talk about if they win again. Some in-depth aliens discussion beyond Ajayi.
I'm very happy to be 6-1. I'll be glad to talk about the aliens perhaps in a week or two. But again, as I keep pointing out, we're a game out of last place in my division right now. We got 3 good teams. Next week we could be talking about the Lizards at 6-2 tied for first place. The Fats 6-2. I'm not feeling like I'm pulling away from anybody by any means. And then Hank is 5. In terms of the conference, is still there at 5-2. I still have to play the K Wheels. So yeah, there's a lot. I don't feel like I know I've got the best record right now, but it doesn't feel that way. There's just too many good teams right now.
Obviously, the Giant Killers 2 games back are buried and done. Done.
I still have to play the Giant Killers.
We're on the upswing. We should have beat the Hams this week, damn it.
All right. Well, again, let's hope things sort out a little bit more in week 8. We'll have a lot to talk about next week. Again, in the meantime, happy Halloween to all of you. With what quick lightning round. What are you guys? What are the kids dressing as this year?
Skeleton and a witch, I believe.
I got a zombie and a soldier.
I got a Ghostbuster and a Maleficent, like Sleeping Beauty demon person.
Nice work.
And Michael and I will be in Vegas this weekend if anyone wants any bets on any football games.
Fish shows? We'll run?
Couple fish shows. I am not staying for the Halloween show. I will be home trick-or-treating.
Nice. Priorities, Berto. These are the times of our lives. You must be there.
Yep. So I'm back for Halloween. So I'm missing the Halloween show.
Is it Deb's turn for the Halloween show?
What's that?
Is it Deb's turn for the Halloween show, and that's why?
Possibly. I don't know.
We'll see. You're coming back?
We'll see.
All right, well,
that was the agreement, though. I could go to Vegas for 2 shows, but I had to be back for Halloween. So
that sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Okay. Enjoy Vegas. Enjoy fish.
Thank you.
Enjoy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
Save me any Butterfingers. And good luck in week 8. We'll see you back here next Wednesday in November. Take care.